Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Hey, today I wanted to get on here and talk about this news. The production of the Toyota Tacoma is moving from Texas, the United States, to Mexico. Now, I know this isn't breaking news, right? There have been several posts and things about it out there, but I kind of wanted to wait a little bit, let it filter out, see what it really means and what they're really doing and why they're doing it. So I'm going to talk about that here a little bit. We're going to take a look at why Toyota is moving production of the Toyota Tacoma to Mexico. Okay, now, as I mentioned, as I'm sure everybody has heard, everybody who is Toyota knowledgeable or reads the news, that Toyota is indeed moving all production of the Toyota Tacoma to Mexico. Now, right now, they currently have 2 plants in Mexico that they build the Tacoma at, and 1 in San Antonio, Texas. Now, why are they doing this? Well, they say that they're looking to free up capacity at the San Antonio plant. Now, why they're doing that, they're looking to build the redesigned Tundra there, which they already built the Tundra there anyway, but they're looking for the redesigned Tundra and the Sequoia to be built there. Now, the reason that they're doing that, they say that it's going to increase or improve manufacturing efficiency. And that's because the Tundra and the Sequoia share the same platform. And if you recall, a while back, Toyota announced that indeed they were going to have this universal platform, if you will, for the Tacoma, the Tundra, the 4Runner, I think, and a myriad of other vehicles. It sounds like they're really stretching that across the whole brand. We'll see. So they say that no jobs are going to be lost in the U.S. At Toyota, and that they're going to continue to build the Highlander Hybrid, and the Sienna at the Indiana plant. So they're moving Tacoma to Mexico, and they're moving the Sequoia from the Indiana plant down to San Antonio. Now, they say it's all a part of their plan to realign production based on commonality amongst its products. Now, of course, anytime they do this, that costs money, right? And that's why I always say, there's always reasons behind this, because when a company makes a move like this, and it's a pretty major move, they're going to spend some money to do it. Now, Toyota will have invested $13 billion and has already spent $7.1 billion on retooling, adding jobs, and moving models to different factories. So they're spending a pretty penny to do this. Not only is it just money to move, physically relocate production, which does have a pretty hefty price tag, by the way, they're also investing or reinvesting in existing plants, including the United States. So what's the real reason for the realignment, Again, they say it better aligns their products based on common platforms and architecture. So they're putting their products beside each other that in essence utilize the same processes, the same parts, the same expertise, the same equipment. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're going to build something and it shares all of these things with other products, having them sit side by side makes a heck of a lot of sense than having a piece over there, and a piece over here, and a piece up there. I mean, it makes sense, right? Now, it also would appear that Toyota is focusing its production efforts in the U.S. on its large brand products. Now, by that, I mean its large truck, the Toyota Tundra, and its large SUVs. I mean, the Highlander, the 4Runner, or not the 4Runner, but the Highlander and the Sienna, rather, are pretty good-sized vehicles. And it seems that they're focusing that here within the United States. Now, why they do that, Toyota says that they want to produce their vehicles in the areas where they sell. Now, that makes a lot of sense too, right? I mean, you don't want to build your number 1 selling vehicle, let's say, in somewhere in Asia, and then have to ship it all over the world to the places where it sells. Ideally, you want to have it sitting right there where everybody flocks to it, and you don't have all the costs that you would have to ship it all over the place. Now, what's the bottom line of all of this? Production of the Toyota Tacoma will cease in the U.S. All of the Toyota Tacomas will stop being built here in this country by late 2021. The Toyota Sequoia production will end by 2022 in Indiana and will start in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I'm sure it's going to be a bit of a progression, but that's the timetable. Again, no U.S. jobs will be lost as a result of the realignment, and they'll be done. $13 billion later, they'll be done. So I'm curious what you guys think of this. You know, there's still the perception, and it's not wrong, that you should buy products that are made or produced in your own country, right? I mean, ultimately, if you buy everything that's made in the USA, for example, you're going to benefit the USA. Now, I would say, and I would argue, that today there are very few products, if any, that are solely, all of the components and everything, made within any one country. I mean, all of the pieces and parts come from all over the world, right? So that's not really even a valid argument anymore, because that just doesn't exist. We live in a world supplied economy now. Secondly, or next, jobs. When it comes right down to it, I suppose, it really is based on who's building those products and whether or not the people within that country, again, the United States, benefit by being able to create or work or manufacture those products here within our own country to benefit our own people. When it comes right down to the individual, that's what really matters, right? I mean, it's money in your pocket. They say that they're not going to eliminate any jobs within the United States. Now, I've seen this time and time again. Sooner or later, I would guess that the workforce working for Toyota within the United States will probably shrink. You know, whether that's through attrition, whether there are any layoffs or plant closings, who knows? But I would say that probably we're going to see the workforce within the United States shrink a bit of this, or because of this rather. And I think that's what we really ought to be looking at. And if it really matters, I guess. And it does matter. It matters to the people that work in those plants or the future workers that may have worked in those plants. So there is going to be an impact. I'd be curious to know what you guys think about that. You know, is it going to soil the Toyota name for you? Is it going to maybe change your mind as to what you're going to buy? Are you maybe going to opt for one of the other brands that are physically built here within the United States? Again, all of the component parts aren't made here. There isn't any manufacturer that can say that. But when it comes right down to it, and it's the labor that puts those things together, does that matter to you? Is that going to sway you a different direction? And maybe you're not going to be interested or be looking at a Toyota Tacoma because they're not made here in the United States. Leave a comment down below. I'd be curious to know what you think about that. And also quality. You know, I haven't seen any studies really that show whether products made here within the United States have a better quality rating or a better quality produced item than, let's say, in Mexico, where these Tacomas are going to be built. I'd be curious to know that. If you have any knowledge of that or have seen any reports on that, again, comparing the quality results of vehicles built in, let's say, Mexico versus the United States. Is there any difference? I don't know. I'd be curious. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I just wanted to kind of get on here after the dust settled a little bit. You know, there's a lot of folks out there who have put videos out just as soon as it came out to ride the top of that wave. But I find, you know, you need to wait for it to settle a day or two so that we really know what's going on and we don't report things that may or may not be true. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.